So Garmin has done it again. The Venu series, which has always been their most smartwatch-like lineup, just got a new addition, the Garmin Venu 4. At first glance, it looks almost identical to the Venu 3, but dig a little deeper and you'll see some important updates. The real question is, are these changes enough to justify an upgrade if you already own the Venu 3? Or is the Venu 4 more appealing to new buyers coming in fresh? Let's break it down, compare everything side by side, and see what's really changed between the two. Starting with the design, the Venu 4 and Venu 3 share the same dimensions and both come in 41mm and 45mm sizes. They also both use bright AMOLED displays, so from a distance you might not even spot the difference. But the feel is where things change. The Venu 3 relied on a fiber-reinforced polymer case with a stainless steel bezel, which made it lightweight and durable, though not the most premium in hand. The Venu 4 moves to an all-metal design, giving it a more substantial and luxurious look. The trade-off is that it does add a bit of weight, but for many people the premium feel is worth it. There's also a difference in the buttons. The Venu 3 had 3 physical buttons, which were helpful for quick navigation and control during workouts. The Venu 4 trims this down to 2 buttons, making for a sleeker, cleaner design, but at the expense of some physical functionality. Whether that's a positive or negative depends entirely on your preferences. Both models feature Garmin's vibrant AMOLED touchscreen. The difference is that the Venu 4 has a noticeably brighter display, similar to what Garmin has been putting in their higher-end Forerunner models. This makes it easier to see outdoors or in direct sunlight. The downside of this brighter screen shows up in the battery life. Brighter displays demand more power, and while it looks stunning, you'll be trading a little endurance for it. Health tracking has always been the Venu series' strong suit, and the Venu 4 takes things further. The Venu 3 already had advanced sleep tracking and introduced nap detection, which was a standout feature when it launched. The Venu 4 expands sleep tracking with features like sleep consistency, which measures how regular your bedtime is, and sleep alignment, which syncs your routine with your circadian rhythm. It also brings health status alerts, which monitor metrics such as heart rate variability, respiration, skin temperature, and blood oxygen overnight. If these deviate significantly from your personal baseline, the watch can flag it as a possible sign of stress, illness, or overtraining. Lifestyle logging is another new addition. Users can now record caffeine and alcohol consumption, alongside the more common water intake, and see how those behaviors affect sleep, stress, and recovery. It's a step toward connecting everyday habits with measurable health outcomes. This is where the Venu 4 makes its biggest leap. When the Venu 3 came out, it leaned more heavily on smart features like digital assistant support and phone calling. While useful, it meant the watch lacked some of Garmin's advanced training tools, and that gap became even more noticeable when cheaper models like the Vivo Active 6 introduced things like suggested workouts. The Venu 4 finally closes that gap. It now includes training readiness and suggested workouts, features athletes have come to expect in Garmin's higher-end watches. There's also the new Fitness Coach, which generates personalized workouts for more than 25 activities, adapting them based on your daily activity levels, sleep quality, and recovery status. Another huge step forward is the addition of multi-band GNSS, which improves positional accuracy in challenging environments. The Venu 3 only had multi-GNSS, which was good, but not quite as precise. The Venu 4 also adds new sport profiles such as triathlon, duathlon, trail running, and expanded cycling modes. On top of that, it now tracks advanced training metrics like training load, load ratio, and heat and altitude acclimation. Metrics that used to be reserved for Garmin's more athlete-focused models. Garmin has steadily been improving accessibility across its smartwatch line, and the Venu 4 continues that push. The Venu 3 introduced wheelchair mode, which counted pushes instead of steps and added movement reminders. It was a meaningful step toward making the watch more inclusive. The Venu 4 builds on this by adding spoken watch faces and health data readouts, which is great for people with vision impairments. It also introduces customizable color filters, including grayscale and various color shift modes, to improve readability for those with color blindness. These may not grab headlines, but for users who need them, they make a real difference. One small but very practical addition to the Venu 4 is its built-in LED flashlight. The Venu 3 only had a makeshift flashlight mode that lit up the display, which wasn't particularly useful in dark settings. With the Venu 4, you get an actual LED light built into the watch, something that has gradually trickled down from Garmin's high-end Phoenix and Forerunner lines. It's one of those quality-of-life features you might not think about until you need it, and then you'll be glad it's there. Battery life is an area where the Venu 4 takes a small step back. The Venu 3 offered up to 14 days in smartwatch mode, while the Venu 4 tops out at around 12 days. It's not a huge drop, but it's noticeable, and the always-on display makes it worse, cutting it down to just 4 days. The likely culprit is the brighter AMOLED screen and the more demanding dual-frequency GPS. In exchange for sharper visuals and improved accuracy, you sacrifice a bit of stamina. If long battery life is your top priority, the Venu 3 is still the stronger performer here. This is another area of change you can't ignore. The Venu 3 launched at $450. The Venu 4 starts at $549.99, and the leather strap version goes up to $599.99. That's a $100 jump for the base model. In fairness, you are getting more features, a more premium build, and cutting-edge health tracking. But if your Venu 3 is still working perfectly and you don't need multi-band GPS or a flashlight on your wrist, the cost may be hard to justify. So, should you upgrade from the Venu 3 to the Venu 4? If you're new to Garmin or coming from a much older model, the Venu 4 is the clear choice. It's more premium, more capable, and more forward-looking in terms of health and training features. If you're a serious runner or triathlete who found the Venu 3 a bit light, the Venu 4's multi-band GPS, new sport profiles, and advanced metrics make it a much stronger all-rounder. But if you already own a Venu 3 and mainly use it for general fitness tracking, sleep, and notifications, the jump may not feel transformative. You'll be paying more for features you might not fully use, and losing a couple of days of battery life in the process. So, what do you think? Do the new upgrades in the Garmin Venu 4 make it worth spending extra? Or would you stick with the Venu 3?